Hi everybody, Wayne McDonald from Playliketheprossom School of Music. Today I'm going to teach you about circular breathing. It's a great technique to use. Be patient, it does take some time. I'm going to teach you a couple different techniques. I will demonstrate it on the soprano saxophone, but I have a straw here. This is a good way to practice the technique, especially if you have time in the car like I do. I drive about 500 miles a week. I have a lot of time in the car, so years ago when I began to develop in this technique of circular breathing, I used a straw. It was one of the techniques that at least pointed me in the direction to be able to do it on the saxophone. So what you want to do, take a straw, any thickness, any length, it doesn't really matter. And what you do is just cover a little bit of the end of the straw with your finger and then start to put air through it. Push air through it, take a deep breath. Now what you want to do at first, cover the hole almost all the way to where you build up a lot of pressure in your mouth. And your cheeks are going to fill up with air. And what you're going to do, then you're going to compress air from the cheeks. So it's a little bit different when you're used to playing the saxophone. The muscles, the embouchure that you use when you're naturally playing the saxophone without circular breathing is completely different. So you're really training other aspects of the muscles of your mouth is what it really comes down to. So you take a deep breath, push air through the straw, just cover the mouth, the straw at the end just a little bit. So what that does, it starts to teach you the technique. So what I'm doing, I'm taking air in through my nose, I'm letting my cheeks fill up with air, and then I'm compressing the air out like you would like a bagpipe. A bagpipe fills up with air and then you compress the air. That's sort of the concept of what you're doing. Now this concept, the circular breathing concept, it originated in the glass houses years ago where they would be pushing air into the tubes and they would be developing and shaping the glass. You couldn't stop to take another breath because you would have bubbles in the glass. So that's where this technique of circular breathing began. When I used to favor the alto, when it was the first saxophone I began to play was the alto saxophone over a decade ago, I took the mouthpiece off and I began to try to do it with the mouthpiece. I'd close up the reed. But another thing you can do is take the neck off of the alto mouthpiece, off of the saxophone. Take the neck off the alto saxophone, leave the mouthpiece on, and then what I would do, I would put my hand on the bottom of the neck. So the mouthpiece, you know how it comes up and it's shaped like this. Put the mouthpiece in your mouth and then cover the base of the neck where it attaches to the saxophone and push air into it. Let your cheeks blow up with air and then compress your cheeks and then release a little bit of the air with your hand. So you want to let a little bit of air escape, but you want to build up enough pressure to where you can feel it. Same concept like with the straw. Build up enough compression where you can press it out with your cheek muscles. So I'll show you on the soprano saxophone. Okay, so, and when you do this, your embouchure is going to be off at first. It's going to go flat because you're using different muscles. But it's like anything. The more you do it, it's going to be even. So I'll demonstrate. I'm going to use like maybe a G and A, maybe walk up a few of the notes in the G scale. I find that the G note and the A note are some of the easier notes when you're starting off in developing this technique on the saxophone. I'm doing, if you could see when I did a close-up, I'm filling the cheeks, taking air in through the nose, compressing the cheek muscles, and I'm constantly readjusting my mouth as I'm doing that because you're using different muscles, and it's going to go flat at times. You have to keep working on this technique to where it's even, and that takes some time. And there was a time when I was first learning, I did it every day. I'd work on it and work on it, and I was up to about, I could hold a note for about 10 minutes. I haven't been working on it and focusing on it as much as I did when I first learned it. But this will take your playing to the next level. Great technique. Hopefully it'll help you become a better player and you can hold them notes for a real long time. Have a great day.